This Sunday, HBO debuted its new teen-centric series, is what we'll call it, Euphoria, which explores themes of sexual violence and drug addiction through the lens of today's high schoolers, supposedly. Its premiere has rocked the landscape because, for a lot of different reasons we're going to talk about, many reviews are heralding the show for continuing to push the envelope by exploring dark themes. Others, however, deeply troubled by the show's grim portrayal of youth culture and characterize it as a gross misrepresentation of Generation Z, as a generation of hedonistic good-for-nothings. So does Euphoria seem authentic to you? I got to tell you, I gave it a shot. I looked at it. I watched it. Here's my...
You are not a fan.
No. Here's my impression. First of all, you have a generation, the Z generation.
Yes.
These are pretty good kids. I mean, think about it.
Wasn't your kid a Z generation?
Huh?
Is your kid a Z generation?
No, I got a millennial.
A millennial, that's right. That's right.
So anyway, you got a generation of, first of all, look what they're doing.
Yes.
They're taking on climate change. Yeah. They're going to court on climate change. They're going to court on gun rights.
That's right.
Think of what they're doing.
The Parkland kids.
The Parkland kids. They're out in the streets protesting the right things.
Yes.
These are good kids. They're excelling, and so you take this program Euphoria. Let's call it what it is, okay? It's gratuitous porn.
With a plot.
With a plot so HBO can make money.
Yes.
In the meantime, they decimate the image.
Yes.
I don't know where these kids on Euphoria live. They live in California? I don't know. You watch this show and you go, they're drug crazed, sex addict, name it.
It's over the top.
Name it, and that's what's wrong with them, according to Euphoria. I would like, who's the producer on this? I'm sure.
Well, HBO, it's an HBO show.
Yeah.
And the writer of the episodes, the creator, is a guy, 34-year-old Sam Levinson.
Oh, says he was based on his life. Right,
his
Sam.
experience and addiction.
Yeah, right. If you look at this show, this is nothing except HBO trying to squeeze out another dollar.
Right.
And forget, they're talking about a generation of really good kids here.
They are talking about a generation of good kids, and it's interesting because this is actually a show that came from Israel. So they redeveloped it for the American market. He wrote it based, he said, on his own experiences growing up in high school, that these were some of the addiction issues that he saw with members of his peer group, and maybe, he is the son of a director, so maybe he grew up in a more affluent society, circle of friends where they had more access to drugs, maybe more money, some sort of excessive partying. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate.
Look at this show. Maybe there's some little place in California where this cat grew up, and everybody had their head scrambled.
And rock and roll is nothing new for teenagers.
No, it's not.
There's no rock and roll in this, though. It's really kind of sad.
No, they're all stoned. And here's the point. Again, I always brag, and I don't have a Generation Zer, but I know a lot of them.
Exactly.
They're really good kids. They're involved in the community. This show, Euphoria, is just nothing but a bunch of hype garbage where HBO is trying to squeeze out another dollar. Why? Because they had to lose, because Game of Thrones is off.
Right. Well,
so they want to stream it, right?
And HBO has a new boss, AT&T, and they have essentially said, we want to see more programming that's geared towards viewers who want to watch it online, who want to stream it, they want to compete in that market. So who are they going to be, marketing that to? Well, of course, it's going to be younger viewers because that's who's watching a lot. We all are, but streaming is definitely appealing to the younger crowd.
Are they trying to say to these kids, this is how you should act?
No,
because these Generation Z ain't buying into it. If you look at the numbers on Generation Z, drug addiction's down, alcohol use is down, gratuitous sex is down.
Gratuitous sex is not down.
Well,
it's half of that. Now they're not doing as many hard drugs.
Okay,
that's true.
all right.
They're still getting high on weed. They're vaping out the window. Yeah. I mean, you name it, they're vaping
it. But when you look at Euphoria, are you looking at real?
I certainly have. And mind you, when I read up on it and I watched a little bit of it, I didn't watch a lot of it because I didn't want to be depressed. And that's not my kind of thing.
You have a child coming up, and you have.
I know, it's terrifying.
So here's what you've got. You've got these California, New York types, okay?
Yeah.
And they're saying, hey, this is cool. All it is gratuitous. it's pornography.
Well, it is, and I agree with you
know,
about that. So going back to your statistics, they did say that like half of all the kids by the time they're 18 in America have had sex, but when you break that down, most of them were in relationships, if you will, and it's not the sort of image that's being portrayed on Euphoria, where there's just this willy-nilly hooking up with same-sex friends, opposite-sex friends, you name it, whoever's in the room, whoever's got the pills or whatever. But
I'm not analyzing this like a Quaker. Okay, this is not
I didn't think you were
this
a
is not
Quaker.
a moral analysis I'm giving you. What I'm upset about is some cat who's trying to just squeeze another dollar. Just trying to squeeze another dollar on HBO. And this, what's his name, Levinson?
Yes.
Okay, I feel so.
Yes, he's
Poor
the creator.
Levinson. Okay, he grew up with his eggs scrambled, no question. Good for
he does say he relates to the teenagers.
Okay, good for him.
He had no problem
He grew up
tapping
with
into
his
that.
eggs totally scrambled. But I'm comparing what I'm seeing on Euphoria with what I see out with that generation. And when people drill down on this, you know what it's really about? It probably isn't even kids watching it, because it's this gratuitous, as I say, it's this gratuitous sex. It's appealing to some prurient interest of some old cat who's watching.
That's gross.
But that's what's happening
here. Oh, no,
here.
it's exactly what's
if
happening.
If you don't think they have focused this, if you don't believe they have focused this, they've looked at what happened in Israel. They know exactly what their
watching,
market
how they're
is.
going to make money.
The pervs.
Of course.
Okay, the pervs are watching it. And they're also showing it to kids and saying, hey, maybe this could be your life. Maybe you could be a drug addict who's completely out of
control. It has gotten a little bit of critical acclaim. People are saying at least it's bringing to light some issues that teenagers feel like they're struggling with. But I'm with you. It's an artsy take on a grim and grisly sort of over-the-top, eccentric look at that. But, when it came out, it only had like less than 600,000 viewers.
Streaming.
But streaming, they did it like up around 1 million. So you're right. It's the pervs that are out there
It's
online
the pervs.
watching.
Molly, thanks for watching. Thanks for talking about it. I want to talk about this more as we watch more series.
Okay.